Hi guys, welcome to Home Truth Nigeria. Today we would continue on the topic I last treated on the Nigerian husband material. So we're going to talk. Last week we talked about the expectations you should look at when you're selecting the ideal Nigerian man. We looked at certain things like income, skills, and above all having sense and actually being with a man who has a mind of himself. Now the fact that a Nigerian man meets the expectations alone doesn't necessarily qualify him to be the ideal man, and that is why today we're going to look at the real deal, which is basically reality. This is the real deal and the actual thing that needs to be observed before you beat your chest to say, okay, I want to be with this guy or not. Now the fact that a guy meets all the expectations we talked about, coupled with the fact that he's good looking, he's well mannered and educated, doesn't actually make him a good person, because in reality he could be a horrible person. And oftentimes a lot of women tend to focus on the expectations with things they can see, but not putting a lot of attention on how they are being treated. And that's why I always say expectation equals reality before you can actually beat your chest to say, okay, I want to be with this guy. Now there is more to having this guy meeting your expectations and actually how he treats you. In a nutshell, how do you feel about him? Like, how does he treat you? Aside from the things you've seen from the guy, all the things that meet the eye, how does this guy treat you? And that is what we want to talk, or I would like to share with you about certain things about the reality, the real deal of treatments or things you should expect when you're dealing with a Nigerian man that is befitting of you to say, okay, he treats me well, and this is the guy I want to be with. Now, the first thing you need to observe is that he is interested in you. This is the first rule. You have to make sure he's interested in you. Like, make sure this man is really and fully interested in you. I'm not talking about partial interest, I'm talking about full, undivided interest. Make sure he's the one like pushing to be with you, not the other way around. When I mean pushing to be with you, I'm not just talking about things he say in words. I'm talking about the fact that his actions matches what he's saying. Let his actions, let it speak volume. Let him be the one who is always the one, trying to reach out to you more than you. One mistake a lot of you make is that instead of this guy to be the one chasing you, wanting you by calling you and all of that, you end up being the one, making the call. The funny thing is that WhatsApp call costs nothing. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are the one calling and texting him first before he would speak to you, or you need to send him money to recharge for data before he speaks to you, then bet me that dude is not ready, to be in a very serious relationship. He's not ready. Now, remember, that is why I said one of the expectations should be he should be in a position whereby he has, you know, he's generating at least some level of income, because it takes away the burden from you. So make sure this dude is very much interested in you and not the other way round. Another treatment you should see is that he wants to be with you. Now, there's a difference between when someone is interested in you and when someone wants to be with you. Don't confuse both. Now, someone could be interested in you because of the monetary gain he's going to get in you, because of the visa scam he's going to derive from you, and some because of they find you, perfect for them. There are those who want to be with you because they basically like love you. However, one way to eliminate this is to look at what this man says or focuses on during your conversation. If this man is always focused on money, like he's requesting money from you, or the chat is centered on how you are going to bring him, to your country, so he's going to get married to you, like everything is about relocation, then there's a strong chance that this guy is not wanting to be with you for the real deal. He just wants to be with you because of what he will get with you. Now, if the conversation is centered around these two things, not actually around you as an individual, like trying to understand you, who you are, and everything, then I will be very, very skeptical about this dude. Now, I understand if you want to be with a Nigerian who lives in Africa, in Nigeria, if you guys eventually get married, of course, 90% of Nigerian men would or may want to relocate, given the economical difference and life standard between these two countries. And there will be at some point where you guys will talk about visa and all of that. I totally get it. But I am talking about a situation where every conversation is centered about money. Somebody is sick, somebody is dying, somebody is this, somebody is that, and everything is about visa, how to come, this and that. Then know that this guy indeed is interested in you, indeed wants to be with you, but everything is centered on the wrong reason. And that's where you need to be very, very concerned. Now, another thing you should look out for is that no lies. This is very important. What a lot of you do not understand is that one small lie can have a huge effect on everything going forward. I've always told some of you who chat with me on WhatsApp that if you suspect he started with a lie, there are chances that it will definitely end up with a lie. I'm telling you what I know and what I've seen from experience in numerous cases I've handled. Once a lie is told, do not take it slightly. There have been cases of lies with age, with name, and all other things. A lady was trying to fill the application for the fiance, and then all of a sudden, oh, that is not the real name. This is my real name. Uh, my age is not, and she was confused. Like, who are you? Like, everything you've told me for the past like 2 years, it's not matching up. Now I'm coming to fill the application. So you need to make sure that this dude is not telling you lies. The moment lies is being told, you should think critically if you want to continue with that, because one lie would lead to another lie, and it would definitely make more lies, and the same lie would end the relationship. Another thing you need to watch out for is that make sure you are important and a priority. The truth is that a lot of you are dating, but you're not important. Not to talk of being a priority. You are only good when he needs money, or he needs help, or maybe he needs some x-rated videos or pictures from you. Aside that, you have no importance. You have no importance. A Nigerian man, would tell you almost everything, but when he truly likes you, if you meet a Nigerian man who truly likes you, he's going to tell you a lot of things. He's going to come back, unload what he's gone through and everything, to you. And in this process, he sees you to be very important. That's why he's telling you. But a lot of you don't know what is happening in this guy's life you're dating. You just know he works here, he does this, but there's nothing more to it. The only time you have deep conversation is when he needs money from you. The only time you have deep conversation is when he wants you to send, some X-rated pictures of videos, and that's when you get deep conversation. And the truth is that a lot of you don't fall back, to actually look at your chat. You just think it's normal. This is what adults, do, but no, in most cases it's not. So that's why it's important to make sure that you as an individual, you are very important to him. You're not just somebody he needs to use for survival. Another thing you need to make out for is to see that he respects and adores you. Make sure the man you are with respects you completely and adores you, but also make sure you respect him in turn. Now, keep that in mind. As I said before, Nigerian men love respect. It is part of our culture. So make sure you give him respect, and make sure he also respects you. Make sure you are being respected in the relationship as well. Try to make sure that this man speaks to you with a lot of respect in a relationship. Try to make sure that you as an individual, you feel respected. Try to make sure that you know that this man talks to you with respect, because the truth is this: if you with a man who doesn't respect you, and maybe at the end of the day you guys go on to get married, it won't change when you get married. It may even get worse. So make sure that you have a stand, set your boundaries, set things that you wouldn't tolerate. Make him understand that you wouldn't tolerate certain things, so you could have your respect coming to you. in as much as he also should get his respect. So make sure that you get your respect. Fight for your respect from the beginning. It's very important you fight for your respect from the very beginning. Now, another thing you should watch out for is that make sure he gives and understands his responsibility as a man. Make sure you are with someone who gives, someone who is a giver. No matter how small, make sure you're with this man who understands his responsibility to provide. Now, a lot of you may not like this. Yes, I understand this. Like, okay, I can walk and all of that. Yes, truly. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of Nigerian men grew up in this condition. And it is, we growing up as Nigerian men, we see it as our primary duty to provide for our family, no matter how small it is, to put food on the table. So it is very important that he is not the only person who is taking and collecting from you. Make sure he's also giving you in return, no matter how small. A lot of times I laugh when a lot of you travel to Nigeria to meet your Nigerian guy you plan on getting married to. You pay for your trip, thousands of dollars. You get to Nigeria, you also pay for the food that both of you will eat in his home country. You basically feed him everything from your trip, from your country to Nigeria, to back, the trip, the food, everything you pay for it. For a man you want to be with, the only thing this man gets to offer you is taking you to bed. That's the only thing he brings to the table. And a lot of you don't understand the significance of this. In fact, a lot of you communicate with these guys ahead, months ahead, to tell them like, look, in 8 months time I'm coming to Nigeria, in 7 month time I'm coming to Nigeria. Yet this dude could not arrange at least to say, okay, you know what, everything you're going to eat in Nigeria is on me. The place you're going to have a sleep, okay, for whatever reason, okay, maybe you booked an hotel, but at least let this guy take you out, take you to places, if to feed, to cinema, for a date with his own money. A lot of you travel, you spend for everything, you come back and you think that is the right thing to do. A Nigerian woman wouldn't do that. The truth is that I know some of you say, oh, he doesn't have a job. But if you've told a full grown man 7 months, 5 months before time, you're coming to visit him in his country, he should do the needful. At least save up some money to make sure that, okay, everything you're going to eat, places you're going to visit, it will be on me. At least you understand that this individual knows that he has a responsibility to cater for certain things. But if you let this go with the excuse that, oh, he has no job, things are hard in Nigeria, you are starting up something that you wouldn't like in the future. And that is one mistake a lot of you make. Another thing to watch out for is that make sure he's honest to you. Make sure he treats you with high level of honesty, that whatever he tells you, you can take it to the bank. Whatever thing he tells you, you can beat your chest to say it is the truth because you have confidence that this dude is telling you the truth. Meaning you have no doubt surrounding anything he tells you. And there are certain ways, he can be honest to you. For instance, one is not to control when you both should speak. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, there are a lot of you with the Nigerian guy you're dating, you're only allowed to call him at a particular period of time. For instance, you can only speak to him from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, I know that this dude may be working or he has a business, and of course, given by work ethics, he's not supposed to like be speaking. I understand this, but uh, the restrictions sometimes is so funny that once it's 9 p.m., you can't call this dude. From 5 to 7, you can only speak to him. The rest would be chats. And I'm not joking. I've seen this happen a lot. I've seen stories like this. A lot of you can't call during weekends because when you call during weekends, he's busy. He tells you he's busy. You can't call him at night because of one flimsy excuse or the other. And a lot of you take it like, yeah, things are really tough for him. If I were you in this situation, I would be very worried that I'm maybe perhaps dating a man who is married. That's why my calls are basically restricted at a particular time. Another thing you can watch out for is if he's a rude and angry guy. Perhaps when you ask certain questions he doesn't like, he screams at you, he causes you out because he doesn't like what you're asking. And you need to understand this because it's not something you should take lightly. If you have a guy you're dating and he exhibits any of this behavior, this is a highest level of dishonesty. He's basically trying to push you away, to mold you into a lady who should not ask him certain thing. And if you can't call, even at night, even on weekends, or he makes up time for you guys to speak a certain time, I will be very, very concerned. So put that in your mind. Make sure that this dude is very honest to you. Another thing you should look at for finally is that make sure, you know, you have what I call the mature treatment. Very important that you're dating a mature guy. To get mature treatment, what I mean is this man basically handles situation maturely. you know Whatever the situation is that comes in a relationship, he would handle them maturely. you know make sure he's not one of these guys who run from situations. Make sure he tries to talk, find a solution to whatever situation that comes along the way in your relationship. Make sure he's not one of these guys who, when there's a problem, he blocks you over little misunderstanding, or he stops talking to you. Make sure he's not these guys who will not speak to you for days, weeks, months because of misunderstanding. Make sure he's mature enough to handle situations respectfully. Make sure he's not these guys who would like ghost you, and after some time, when they need a favor from you, they would reappear with nice words. Make sure that he's that man who would want to sit you down and talk about what has happened so that you guys could find a solution to improve your relationship, and not somebody who, you know, uh, whatever reason, fights, misunderstanding, he just disappears. And that will be a problem. Now, it's important to take notes, when looking for that Nigerian husband material. And there is more to the physique, there's more to the good face, to the six packs, to the size of his mandingo, and all he could do to you in the bed. In as much as these things are also important, but in reality, these things are not enough to sustain a relationship going forward. And that is why I would always advise you to take your time to make sure you're getting it right. Do not think, well, if he comes over to my country, it doesn't work, I'll divorce him, and then you will go look for another Nigerian man. You would keep doing this, and you just like you're running airline service. You just keep bringing Nigerian men to your country. After 1 or 2 years it doesn't work, you go and get another one. Before you know, they will name a community after you, and all of that. So guys, with this, I would like to say a very big thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. If you want to comment, comment respectfully. Home Truth Nigeria, peace out.